Hello guys, I'm Cheriyan. Today we are going to learn differentiation. This is my first lesson. Okay, listen carefully. Thank you. Differentiation. Okay. Consider a function y equals fx. For example, y is equal to x square. Okay. See, y is equal to fx. I am going to give y a small increment. Increment means y plus 0.01. Something like that, or 001, a small value, y plus delta y plus delta y. Delta y means a small increment in y. The corresponding increment in x is f of x plus delta x. See, I am going to write down the definition of differentiation. Okay. Next, delta y. Delta y equals this y, go to the other side, right hand side, f of x plus delta x minus y. Y is what? Y is fx. Delta y equals f of x plus delta x minus y. Minus y is minus of fx. Then delta y by delta x, dividing both sides by delta x. See, here x plus delta x minus x. See, I am going to add x here. The value change, so I am going to subtract x here. See, now f of x plus delta x minus fx by x plus delta x minus x. Right now, delta y by delta x, limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x equals, see, when delta x tends to 0, fx minus fx, that is 0, by, when delta x tends to 0, x minus x, that is 0. 0 by 0 form. So there is a limit value for this delta y by delta x. We know that that is the last 9 days we learned the limits. When the value of the function becomes 0 by 0, that is indeterminate form, there is a limit value for this function, that is dy by dx. That is the derivative of y with respect to x. That is the definition of derivative. This is very, very important. See, these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 steps you need to learn. This is very important. Okay, all these class we need this. Okay, all these 5 steps we need that. Okay, I'm going to show you the geometrical meaning of these steps. See, one more time I'm going to explain to you. Y is equal to fx. Y is any function like y is equal to x square. Then y plus 0.001 means the corresponding increment. I don't know what is that corresponding increment. I will show you in geometrical proof. Okay. Then y plus delta y. Delta y is the increment in y. The corresponding increment in x is delta x. Then find out delta y. Delta y equals f of x plus delta x minus y. Delta y, find out delta y by delta x, dividing throughout by delta x. Then limit delta x tends to 0, that is the derivative of y with respect to x. Rate of change of y with respect to x. You can say like that. You know, rate of change of y with respect to x, or derivative of y with respect to x. The geometrical meaning. See, y equals fx. I'm going to write down I'm going to draw a graph that is x, y, x coordinate, x axis and y axis. Okay. Y is equal to fx means, suppose this is the graph. Y is equal to fx. Y is equal to fx. Then what is x and y? I'm going to take an x here, x, y. I'm going to name it P. P is this point. Okay. What is x and y? X and y means from this is the origin. From origin to this point is x, and that point to point P, the vertical distance is y. That is the meaning of xy. Cartesian coordinate. Xy means the x is this much and y is this much. Okay. And I am going to give a small increment in y. Delta y. The corresponding increment in x is f of x plus delta x. Okay. So I am going to give a small increment delta x here. The corresponding increment in y is, see this much is y, and the corresponding increment in y is delta y. This much is delta y. The total distance is y plus delta y. Y is from here to here, and the rest is delta y. So delta y, and this one is delta x. See, draw a secant line. Draw a secant line. Secant line means if a line cut the curve in 2 points, then that line is called secant line. See, this is a curve, and this is secant line. Secant line means this line cuts the curve at 2 points. So that is secant line. What is tangent line? Tangent line, if it touches the curve at 1 point, it is called tangent line. Tangent line touch only 1 point. Secant line 2 points. Not touch, cut, or passes through. Secant line 2 points and tangent line only 1 point. Okay. So this one is secant line. So what is delta y by delta x? I'm going to explain. See, then delta y equals f of x plus delta x minus y. Okay, I'm going to explain to you. What is delta y by delta x? Delta y by delta x. See, this is angle. I'm going to give that angle phi. Phi means a Greek letter. This is phi. 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 Okay. Delta y, this one is delta y, this one is delta x. What is delta y by delta x? Tan for opposite side by adjacent side is tan phi. Tan phi. Tan phi, what is the meaning of tan? Tangent of this angle. The meaning is slope of this line. Slope of this line. How can you find out the slope? Just find out the tangent of that angle. Tan phi. Tan phi equals delta y. That is, slope of the secant line is delta y by delta x. See, delta y is f of x plus delta x minus y. Minus y is minus fx. Delta y by delta x is divided by delta x. X plus minus x. See, what is delta y by delta x? That is the slope of the secant line. See, slope means that line makes an angle with the x-axis. If this is phi, this one is also phi. Why? Because these two lines are parallel, one transversal. Then the corresponding angles are equal. Two parallel lines, one transversal. These two angles are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal. Okay. So phi, this is also phi. So the slope of this line means tangent of the secant line. Tangent of the, take the tangent of the secant line. Secant line, that is delta y. The meaning of this one is slope or tangent, slope of the secant line. Secant line. That is delta y by delta x. Then we need to, what is the limit delta y by delta x tends to 0? Limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x. What is the meaning? I'm going to explain to you. When delta x tends to 0, when delta x tends to 0 means when it becomes this much length. What is the length of delta y? Delta y also decrease. This is delta y. The tangent, so the secant becomes more, say, the inclination, the slope is little more, right? This is the angle. Another phi, I am going to give phi 2. that is also secant line. When it tends to 0, the secant line becomes the tangent line. I am going to give theta. See, when delta x tends to 0, the secant line becomes the tangent line at the point xy. It passes through only one point. Before it was passing through 2 points. When delta x tends to 0, when delta x tends to 0, not equal to 0, tends to 0, that secant line becomes the tangent line at the point xy. So dy by dx. What is the meaning? It is the tangent, slope of the tangent. Slope of the tangent line at xy. That is the meaning. That is the meaning of dy by dx. Limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x equals dy by dx is the slope of the tangent at the point xy. That is the meaning of the derivative. Important, very important. See, what is the meaning? When delta y by delta x, what is the meaning of delta by delta x? Delta y by delta x is the slope of the secant line. Slope of the secant line. What is what happens when delta x tends to 0? The secant line becomes the tangent line at the point xy. See, before it was like, the secant line was like this. When delta x tends to 0, the secant line becomes, secant line means it passes through 2 points. When delta x tends to 0, the secant line becomes the tangent line. It passes through the only one single point. That is called the tangent line. What is the meaning? Secant line becomes the slope of the tangent line at the point xy. That is the meaning of dy by dx. So guys, this is very important. So just write down this one, and at the same time you need to draw a graph like this and just learn it. Each line has a meaning. You can learn it from the graph. Okay, thank you guys watching this video. This is very important. Take your pencil and paper and write down everything. Thank you.